I know we started.
Hello. I usually start the stream at like 8 exactly.
I know, but like you usually give me a like hello.
Oh. Yeah, sorry. I was taking a nappy.
No, you're fine. I tried to nap, but I was unsuccessful. Oh, hello, boy. Crouching Tigre hidden Ryuichi.
I'm legitimately so upset that I was like, okay, so like I was trying to come up with a you know, I was trying to come up with the you know, the subtitle or whatever, right, the title for the stream today, and I was like, oh, it'd be kind of fun if we did like a Furio Tigre kind of thing. I was like like a crouching tiger, crouching tigre sort of joke, and then I was like, wait a minute, crouching tiger, hidden dragon, because I remember I was explaining the tiger and like dragon kind of like Asian mythology to some people when I was playing Kiwami 2 the other day. I was talking about that. And then I was like thinking about it, and I was like, wait a minute. Phoenix Wright's Japanese name is Ryuichi Naruhodo, and I was like, oh, oh, it's a pun, it's a joke.
They make it a joke.
It is a joke. What I would classify as time for justice.
It's always time for justice.
That's true, that's true. But yeah, I had that big realization about the kind of like funny, the pun going on, like 10 minutes before the stream started. I was like, what do I do with my life now?
You are being creative with your words. That would only be funnier if when the title dawned on you, you literally went, ah, Ryuichi, naruhodo.
Naruhodo. Naruhodo.
That would be... That would tie everything together. Hi, man. Hello.
Oh, I was big tired today. I spent all day cooking.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What do you make?
It was my dad's birthday, so I made dinner. I baked a loaf of bread. I made lots of steaks. I made pasta, and I made a salad.
I want birthday dinner cooked by Soupy.
Yeah.
Got birthday Papa Soup. Yeah.
You listen. You have to be here for a birthday.
Yeah. I have to plan my birthday, fly to California, and be like, okay, I'm ready to receive. then I can
if
meet
you're ever in
Bart
town,
and
I'll
Philip.
make you a birthday dinner.
Yeah.
Pretty tasty.
I'm sure it is.
Oh, I was very sleepy after that though, cause like it. Not only did I like eat or like cook all day, cause like I had to make sure the bread was like good and stuff. And that's like a whole process. I also had to, you know, eat all the food.
Yes.
So I ate it all, and I was like, ugh.
Food coma. Ooh.
Food coma. Time for sleep.
Oh, I should get water before we start.
Yes, you should.
Okay, I'll be right back. I am here with hydration.
Welcome back. Without consulting you, I have in fact created a new channel point reward on my channel.
Oh?
So you know how I have the Kiryu voice and the Majima voice?
Oh, god dang, I hate it. How dare you?
I had a Francisco voice.
666 is perfect. I just tendered the new channel point things. Now I have to like remember how to do her voice because I was like, well, that was fun. I'd probably want to do that again for a couple of games.
Nope. Sorry to say, you're here forever.
Yeah, Soupy ambushed me. I have a sticky note of tips, like notes that I just
Oh
made
my god,
for
really?
myself. That's just stuck to my monitor for her voice.
That's so funny.
I'm glad I didn't throw it away.
It'll help you always.
It'll be a reminder. Every time I'm on your cursed stream.
True.
I have the perfect silly quote to waste 666 points onto. Oh no, Brandon!
I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready,
yeah,
Renu. You're in it too now. Welcome.
have the song from Like a Dragon stuck in my head, the Ichiban song.
I know nothing about like. I've actually purposely been avoiding consuming anything related to Yakuza Like a Dragon.
I've avoided everything except for that song because someone thrust that song at me, and I was like, well, I guess I gotta listen to it. And then it was really good, and I was like, all right, well, I'll just.
I see.
I was stuck in my head.
I see. I see.
Yeah, it is actually very nice. They like rendered the Oh, I have a kitten.
Kitty.
They rendered the singing groups like their members in the in-game engine, and so that's the music video that they produced. It was just like doing it in the in-game engine, which is really cool.
All right, you ready?
Are we ready? Is the stream starting soon / now? Uh-oh.
I think it's time for stream.
Leave it, Clover. I have to start the stream by telling my dog to leave the cats alone.
I mean, it's yeah. Wouldn't be stream without.
Okay, open. Oh my goodness. Ready.
Ready. It's been like 2 weeks.
I know.
January 8th, 9:46 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 1. There you up, Renu.
Oh. The culture of Germany is modern. Oh, jeez.
Oh my god. Is this true? Was this this year?
Pentathlon. Wait, really? Oh, now I'm just reading the rest of it. Team was kicked out the Tokyo Olympics on Saturday for, of all things, punching a horse.
Wow,
Sadly,
this
yes.
is true.
Wait, what?
German coach kicked out of Tokyo Olympics after she punched a horse. Huh. I like how when you look it up on Google, there's like people also ask, did the German coach punch the horse? Who punched their horse in the Olympics? What is the equestrian pentathlon? What are the legs of a pentathlon?
Wow.
Wow. All right then.
I can't believe that happened.
Who amongst us hasn't been kicked out of the highest honor we could achieve by punching a horse? You're right, Keeters. You're right.
I mean, I guess the team has to go on without their coach.
I guess so. Huh.
Right? Because it's just the coach that got kicked out. Oh, Germany. So intense. Good morning, Mr. Wright.
Good morning, Maggie.
So, what do you think is going to happen today, sir? Yesterday's session didn't go so well and ended on a giant mystery. That's true. And we still haven't solved a single part of it yet.
Are you okay, Nick?
Huh? Oh, yeah, of course. I saw that little flash of doubt in your eyes. No! That wasn't doubt. That was, determination. Why don't I believe you?
It's nearly time, Maggie. You better get going to the defendant's seat.
Roger, don't let me down, Mr. Wright. I'm counting on you.
Oh boy.
Hey, pal. Hey, Detective Gumshoe. Quit stressing Maggie out. She doesn't need that. How did you know she was stressed? I was watching through the doorway.
Oh my god. Oh, Gumshoe.
Oh! You look like you lost the case already. Show a bit of confidence, will you, pal? Here, maybe this'll help.
Huh? Have you taken up aromatherapy too?
Not in a million years, pal. Don't tell me you don't remember this thing. Come to think of it, that doesn't look like one of those aromatherapy bottles. This is the small bottle that turned up in Trevian's kitchen a couple of days ago.
Wow, look at all these little bottles.
Oh, they're aromatherapy oils. He's got so many, they're overflowing onto the floor.
Hey, wait a minute. There's one bottle that's different from all the others.
Oh, what do you know? And it doesn't have a label either.
And it doesn't smell.
One time Gumshoe chooses to be a detective. Yeah, and we're caught off guard by it.
Oh my god, Detective Gumshoe being competent. Oh, jeez.
We finally got the analysis results back from the lab.
So, what is it? Is it the poison?
I'm afraid not, pal. It's medication.
Medication?
Yeah, for ears. Topical use only, apparently. For ears? You mean? Yeah, it's the medication Glen Elg was using for his ruptured eardrum. What was Glen Elg's ear medicine doing in the kitchen?
I feel like I can take a guess on that one.
They put in the food!
Mmm, tasty. Say pizza to drugs. I don't understand those posters because there's no order you can put them in that makes sense.
What about the unidentified fingerprints? Anything on that? Someone screwed up, so they only had time to analyze the contents of the bottle. Another hour, and they might have gotten something on the prints, but, that's going to weaken its impact as a piece of evidence.
Why didn't his medication have any label at all on it? That's a good question.
Yeah.
I mean, it came in a labeled bag, but yeah, the fact that the bottle itself doesn't have any labels on it.
Okay, pal, this is it. Make sure your defense is impregnable today. Got it?
Okay, yeah, it's supposed to say, like, say no to drugs, say yes to pizza, but, like, if you look at it, there's no way that works.
Say ya to pizza. Today's trial. I'm gonna expose that guy for what he's done, or my name isn't Phoenix Wright.
I'm gonna expose that guy for what he's done, or my name isn't Ryuichi Naruhodo.
Naruhodo.
Naruhodo. January 8th, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 4.
Court is now in session for the trial of Maggie Bird. The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Ready and waiting as always, Your Honor.
Very good. Then we'll get underway at once. Yesterday, we heard the testimony of Mr. Victor Kudo. He claims to have witnessed the defendant putting a powder into the victim's coffee. However, the witness's testimony was plagued with a number of problems.
The mark on the rim of the cup shows the victim drank from it with his right hand. But, according to the old man's testimony, he picked it up with his left hand.
Thank you, Mr. Kato. Furthermore, according to the witness's account, the victim was listening to the radio with an earpiece in his left ear. Yet, the victim's left eardrum was ruptured, which made him effectively deaf in that ear.
It's amazing how many contradictions a single case can have, huh, Nick? Oh, wait 1 sec.
Oh.
Bark has arrived.
Bark-kun. Brandon, no.
Do you want to go back out? Okay.
Light it up, light it up,
Alright, I'm
light
back.
it up. Welcome back.
Allow me to enlighten you, Your Honor. The world, you see, keeps turning, and we must turn with it.
You've lost me already, Mr. Gato.
Listen, Bart comes and goes as he pleases. It's not up to me when he shows up. Don't let the mysteries of yesterday mystify you today. Only losers think like that. You've got to change with the times. That's one of my rules.
Are you implying that you've resolved these contradictions?
You... Oh, that's you.
I want to meet Mark too.
That seems difficult.
I only get to see him on camera.
Renu.
Oh, sorry. You know the answers to these riddles?
The old guy wasn't just throwing seed in there. He was throwing us off the scent. And today I'll prove it.
Very well. I'll let the first witness take the stand.
And you are? Oh, bonjour everyone. I am John Armstrong, the owner and head chef of La Très Bien Restaurant. Enchanté.
Forgive me for asking, witness, but are you a woman?
Oh la la, monsieur. As you can see, I am la paix and pecky gentleman, no? On the day of the incident, you were in Très Bien's kitchen. John Armstrong, non-binary legend. Isn't that right? Is you, monsieur? Everything feels right.
Woo! Steamy like your coffee, Gato.
Huh.
Wow, he's totally unfazed. Doesn't anything intimidate this guy? Very well. Your testimony, please, witness. Please tell the court what happened that day at Très Bien.
Oui, volontiers. When it all happened, there were just 2 customers in my restaurant. I remember I was experimenting with some new art decors that day. Like having a large mirror between the tables, for example. Oui, perhaps that is what the old man was looking at. La cup, la earpiece, and la glasses. He would have seen everything in reverse, no?
Mirror?
Oui, un grand mirror. La most enormous mirror. What the hell is happening? And suddenly the mystery disappears. Like I said, the world keeps turning, so roll with it.
That would explain the coffee cup and the earpiece conundrum. The mirror would have made everything appear back to front. What the heck? It's way too early in the morning for this to be happening to me. Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
Oh boy, let's see what evidence we have again. It's been a little while.
Gumshoe's lunch.
Wow, we still have this?
No.
I was wondering if we had given the other one to Maggie. I guess not. Let's see. Paper patch.
We have so many things.
There's a lot of evidence. Oh.
And who are the two customers exactly?
Of course, the young man who died, and the other not so young man.
Hmm. You are referring to yesterday's witness, I presume? What about the other man Maggie says she saw at the table? Something tells me Mr. Armstrong isn't planning to disclose his existence.
We need some hard evidence first before we can bring him up, don't we?
I guess I'll just have to try a different approach for the time being. You are experimenting with Art Deco? How come I never heard about that before today?
How did Venus get a second completely real lawyer's pen? It's a mystery, you know? You are not familiar with the language of interior design, monsieur? Are you some
Please
kind of
stay on
boo-boo
topic.
idiot? Fool?
Whoa! Hang on!
Hey, I went to art school. How dare you? I know what art
law
deco is.
degree.
I have a
Now what-
combination art and law degree.
Now, why didn't you tell the court about this before?
But I did just a few moments ago.
Excuse me, Mr. Armstrong. This deco you mentioned, are you referring to some sort of decoture? No, Art Deco. It is a style of design, Your Honor. He's talking about interior design. Walls, ceilings, carpets, that kind of thing. Ah, yes, of course. That deco.
I was trying to achieve a more effeminate look for my restaurant. I was planning the most bold remodeling of the decor. Yeah, literally that's
Yeah.
that is my belief of how he has achieved this degree.
How big of a mirror are we talking here?
Both something about 4 meters wide and we about 2 meters high.
Let's see. If 1 meter is about 1 yard. Holy glass in a frame, that's huge!
Excuse me, Mr. Armstrong, aren't you in debt?
The
I was intending to install it on the ceiling eventually.
ceiling? Was there a mirror on the ceiling? I don't remember.
No, but I decided not to go through with it in the end. Oh, we're hydrating.
Alright.
Oh, hydrating again.
Oh man, Brandon, you are just redeeming those points. Keeters!
Okay, we're going again.
Mhm.
And again.
I shouldn't put down my water bottle anymore.
Mm-mm. And again.
Hmm.
And again.
Oh my god, dude.
Sean is saving points to make me sing Baka Mihai.
Oh my gosh, wait, how much is that?
69 420, I think.
Oh my gosh. I can't wait. 46K!
Jesus Christ, I'm a fear.
24-hour Cinderella is my ringtone, so I expect you to nail it
Oh my god.
when that gets redeemed.
Really? What? Huh. Fair enough? It'll be used at the end of an Ace Attorney game. Okay. Got it. Gotcha. We drank so much I don't remember if you've read this line or not.
I did not. Okay. If you really had such a large mirror in the restaurant, someone would have noticed it. But there's nothing about a mirror in Mr. Kudo or Maggie Bird's testimonies.
But
Objection!
You didn't ask, Trite. You have only yourself to blame for such sloppy work.
What?
A mirror was delivered to Trebien the day before the incident.
Really?
As Mr. Armstrong testified, he was carrying out some design changes. And as it turned out, he didn't actually use the mirror in the end.
This just doesn't add up. Even if a mirror was delivered to Trebien, it doesn't prove that it was in the restaurant on the day of the crime.
Ha! If you want to doubt someone, Trite, look in the mirror.
Oh!
I'm sure the person looking back at you will be dubious enough.
Oh.
just gotta get some bets going. Oh, that's not a bad idea, actually. I don't know what I would do that for, though, because I don't play competitive games on stream that often. I don't actually know how the betting thing works. Like, it seems like you can set up like a mini game kind of thing.
Yeah. I don't know how to do it either, though.
I'll look into it later. Someone remind me later.
So the witness yesterday had seen the victim reflected in a mirror.
Mods can't spend points on bets, you think? Ah, oh, how tragic.
Feels bad.
Conflict of interest. No, I suppose
Feels
that's fair.
bad.
I think that's because mods can set up the bets.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. We have too much power.
Yeah.
Normally, I'd expect people to know the difference between a reflection and a real object.
Objection!
Mods are the ones that decide who is it. Maybe, yeah.
Normally, how does normality come into this? That's lame, Trite, even for you.
Huh?
Are you trying to say that if something isn't normal, it isn't possible? Is that it? Where does that leave?
Oh, sorry.
Where does that leave the porky-headed lawyer and the top-knot chick over there? And the ungodly cool guy with a mask over here? Well, Trite.
Not the hair!
I do not have a top knot!
Mr. Gatto is correct. A lack of normality is no basis for discounting an argument.
Man, logic as one a day.
Oh,
Okay,
good night, Brandon. Everything? He would have seen everything in reverse?
We? Hey Nick, we should take a second and think about what old CD said in his testimony.
How did he phrase it again?
The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs.
No question. You can lock me up if I'm wrong. It was his left ear, without a doubt. And then he used the same hand to pick up the cup. His left hand. If he saw everything he described reflected in a mirror, then everything he said he saw on the left was actually on the right, huh?
And that clears up all the problems with his testimony, I guess. Or does it?
Huh.
It's kind of hard to believe that everything's the fault of a mirror, but...
Do you think old CD saw everything through a reflection?
if he did, it would explain all the contradictions in his testimony.
But that just makes the situation worse for Maggie. There's gotta be something in that old man's testimony. We've just gotta dig deeper.
Okay, well let's take a look at the evidence then.
Everything would have been in reverse. The cup, the earpiece, and the glasses.
Oh god, my brain.
What about, like, didn't he, like, so he left a note saying he broke the vase at his table?
Yeah.
Huh, I feel like that has something to do with it, but I'm not sure what. A large mirror between the tables.
Well,
But if it was between the tables... Wasn't he sitting across from them? Like, how would he... If there was a... Wait, I don't understand where the mirror was placed.
well, between the tables. So, like, it would be, like, here, presumably. Like, this divider is kind of what I'm thinking.
Okay. But then, like, where was Victor sitting then?
Well, if we go to see the floor plan, so probably, like, the guy was sitting here, because this is where he died, right? This is the area he died.
I don't see your cursor.
Oh, that's unfortunate. This X on the right side is where the victim is, like, because the picture's taken from this bottom left table, right? This kind of angle.
Yeah.
That means that the mirror must have been between these two tables at the top here, and Victor was, like, in the bottom rightmost seat, theoretically.
Okay.
Either that, or Victor was in this bottom left seat, and it was... But then that doesn't make sense with the... Oh god, my brain hurts! My brain hurts!
Yeah. I think the most likely explanation, if there was a mirror there, was, as you said the first time, was he's in the bottom right seat.
Yeah. But where do we present evidence?
I don't know. Are there any more? Is there anything else that we can press?
I think we pressed everything.
The cup, the earpiece, and the glasses.
Okay, let's just press this again. Let's see, he would have seen everything in reverse.
Oh, well, TD said in his testimony again.
The boy was wearing an earpiece on the same side as
the green lens of his specs.
So, same side as the green lens. Left ear.
Okay, so wait, so go to the photo of the victim. No, the other one, the one where he's dead.
The one where he's dead. Okay.
Yeah.
This one.
Oh, you can't see it.
Yeah.
Ugh!
Although, he says it's in the left ear.
Yeah, I guess we do have his profile.
But his spectacle is on his left side. So
yeah, maybe that's the one. Right?
I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can present his profile.
present.
Oh yeah.
Spicy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. The coffee cup, the earpiece, and the HMD. Let's think back over Mr. Kudo's testimony for a second, shall we?
The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs. No question. You can lock me up if I'm wrong. It was his left ear without a doubt.
So, to summarize, we were told both the HMD and the earpiece were on the victim's left side. Now, if Mr. Kudo saw all that as a reflection in a mirror, it means both the HMD and the earpiece were actually on the victim's right side.
Exactement. You see, monsieur, now that you think about it, it is not so odd, no?
Unfortunately, that's where we run into a monumental contradiction with the facts. If Mr. Kudo really did see everything in a mirror, why is it that the HMD is now on the wrong side of his head?
Look at the picture.
Order! Order! Mr. Wright is correct. If the witness genuinely observed the victim reflected in a mirror, then we would expect the victim's eyepiece to have been over his right eye.
How bitter. Trite, you should have a taste of this bitterness. It'll calm you down in no time.
Are we talking about your coffee? Or something completely different?
You don't understand the way the witness thinks.
How he thinks?
You remember this, I presume.
The I broke the vase sorry apology Mr. Kudo's sworn testimony?
Exactly. The old man has one very grievous habit, other than throwing seeds. The more of an impression something makes, the more muddled his mind makes it. And what's the most striking thing about Mr. Elk?
Clearly, it's the victim's eyepiece.
And that's my point. The old man strikes again. Mr. Elk's HMD made a big impression on the old man. I saw the earpiece and those newfangled spectacles he was wearing. Oh yes, they were both on his left ear, do you hear? His left ear. Ha. Well, Trite.
That's the worst but best impression of Kudo ever.
Wow, I really thought he was Old City for a minute there. God, it was good.
Enough. I must agree that yesterday's witness was irresponsibly rash in much of his testimony.
Bad luck, Nick. Looks like the boil of a contradiction you found is just a rash. Ew.
A mirror can't be beaten by a handful of seeds, nor can it lie. So, what exactly was the old man looking at? Fill us in, Mr. Armstrong. Go on, tell the court. We're all ears.
Oui, I can explain. Please, if you will look at the plans of the restaurant.
The mirror.
Hello, is everyone sitting comfortably? La mirror, it was in the middle of the restaurant, dividing the two halves.
Now we know.
There is only one seat from which you could have seen an image of the victim. That was the seat at the table next to the victims. That was where the old man was sitting.
Oh, okay, now we know.
Yeah, I guess so. Jesus Christ. After the terrible incident occurred, I moved the mirror so it was not in the way. But naturally, I did not touch anything else.
I see no problems with the explanation we have just heard. From the table next to the victims, Mr. Kudo could have seen the victim in the mirror.
What a naughty little coquette I am, confusing all the men like this.
Don't worry about it. We can keep up. Except for the guy breaking out in a cold sweat over there again.
Ah, I hate that guy. You said you didn't touch anything else apart from the mirror. Are you quite sure about that?
Volunteer, of course.
Very well. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, if you please.
What if I don't, please?
Sweats, please. So, run this by me again. The mirror was here, correct?
We?
We? Really? Because I know if I were you, I wouldn't have put a mirror there. It would have been in the way.
Look who's talking, trite.
Huh?
You're obstructing my view, among other things.
Of what? This is my seat in the courtroom.
Trebian's charm is that it gives you the impression that you're the only customer. Temporarily placing a mirror in that spot would hardly be in the way. Unlike you, trite.
Wow, you just...
Oh man, destroyed. I tell you, monsieur, la mirror was there in the middle of the restaurant.
And where would that be?
Oh la la, look how you lean towards me. I always attract the younger boys. Maybe I should keep you in suspense a little longer.
Mr. Armstrong, tell the court what you know at once.
I attract the older ones too, you know, handsome. Shall I tease you too?
I'm already seeing a very hot someone, so I'm afraid you'll be waiting for a very long time.
I bet she has mocha cream skin and cappuccino perfume. Ben, I will tell you, there was only one seat from which you could have seen.
So why can you only see the victim from that particular seat?
Monsieur, it is obvious, no? If you look at the plans, you will understand. The victim would have been reflected in the mirror like so. If you were sitting at the table next to him, you would have seen everything, no? That's the seat old City was sitting in on that day, when the poisoning happened.
The old man was sitting at the table next to the victim? Why does that seem kinda odd? Did you move the mirror while Mr. Kudo was off calling the police?
Oui, exactement. I carried it out of the restaurant then.
You moved a huge mirror like that all by yourself?
What can I say? I know how to pick things up, handsome. God, I actually laughed at something.
Well, given the witness's physique, I suppose it is possible. Did you move anything else from the crime scene, Mr. Armstrong?
I look the obliging type, no?
Are you sure about that?
I touched nothing except la mirror.
Mr. Wright, is there something the witness has said that doesn't match the crime scene? Yeah, there is. I just can't put my finger on it. What exactly?
Suffering from a case of heartburn, trite.
Oh, I have just the thing for that. An oil with golden myrrh and frankincense.
Add a few drops to your coffee and voila, enjoy.
Yeah, the ear medicine.
I don't think that. Wait. But it's aromatherapy. Wow. Is that something that you would put in your drink?
Definitely not.
Focus, Phoenix. Breathe. I need to ignore those two and just find some evidence.
It is pretty strange though, isn't it? I mean, nobody mentioned anything about a really large mirror. You'd think someone would have, but Maggie didn't, and neither did old City.
then the only logical explanation is that there was no mirror inside Trabian that day. Now I've just got to prove it. Somehow. The ear medicine, Gato is getting drink off of perfume.
What?
Oh!
What? Do we have to maybe present this then?
Wait, what did you present? The ear
I
medicine?
presented the ear medicine.
I mean, yeah.
What?
Oh, no, too early, I guess.
Nani? Nani? Ah. Naturally, I did not touch anything else. Oh, wait, I guess...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? I guess so.
Yeah, because he admitted to taking one.
Ah!
Oh, no, we about to get boned.
Ouch.
Be safe.
Nani?
Naturally, I didn't touch anything. Can you see the? Can we see the photo of when he's over the table again?
Yes.
So if the old man was at that table, wouldn't he have knocked over that vase?
Ah! Let's see.
Yeah, I think maybe that one.
Okay.
Present his little apology.
This.
Yeah.
Ah!
Your Honor, Mr. Kudo's words yesterday strongly contradict Mr. Armstrong's testimony. This is the letter of apology that was written by Mr. Kudo, is it not? I realize it looks useless, Your Honor, but this is still testimony.
Ha! I guess useless people are only really good at identifying useless things.
What relevance does this scrap of paper have to the trial, Mr. Wright? Mr. Kudo's testimony is actually very relevant to the question at hand, Your Honor. Because it very clearly contradicts with this piece of evidence.
Let's get that photograph going.
This piece of evidence contradicts with the testimony we have heard, Your Honor. The crime photo? Yes, this photo clearly shows something that theoretically should not exist. What on earth do you mean by that, Mr. Wright?
Should not exist. Huh. Sounds like you're describing yourself, Trite.
Chill out, Gato!
You don't gotta come for him every time you speak, jeez.
Yeah. Now then, if the defense would please clarify its statement. What is the something that should not exist? There is one thing that was clearly demonstrated by yesterday's testimony. Mr. Kudo broke the vase that was on the table where he was sitting. And yet, as the court can see, there is an unbroken vase on the table next to the victim. Why? Because Mr. Kudo was not, in fact, sitting at the table next to the victim at all.
Objection!
Don't be an idiot, Trite. That's impossible. That seat's the only one Kudo could have seen the victim's reflection from.
Exactly. There's only one conclusion we can draw from this contradiction. There was no mirror at Trabian that day. Your testimony, Mr. Armstrong, is an elaborate lie.
Mon Dieu!
Don't try to confuse the court, trite. Obviously, the witness cleaned up the vase, while the police were taking their time getting to the crime scene.
Unfortunately, Mr. Gatto, that doesn't quite work for me. Mr. Armstrong already testified to the contrary, in his own words. I did not touch anything else except the mirror. Well, witness, what do you have to say for yourself? I was right. There was no mirror in the restaurant that day. In light of this revelation, we turn back to the original problem. Why did the victim have an earpiece in an ear in which he couldn't hear?
You only get one shot in life. There's no turning back. If you want to claim that the mirror wasn't there, trite, then this problem is all yours. How do you explain what the old man saw?
If I can answer this, then I'll be that much closer to the truth. I can feel it.
Are you going to be okay? Can you really solve this contradiction, Nick?
There's more than just this one contradiction, Maya.
What do you mean?
Remember what Maggie told us? There was another man at the victim's table. And there was a sample CD on the victim's table. It all flies in the face of Mr. Kudo's testimony. And I think I know the reason why nothing in this case is adding up. Well, Mr. Wright, let's hear your answer. Yes, Your Honor. The reason behind all the contradictions in Mr. Kudo's testimony is simple.
Mr. Kudo made a mistake. The ear doctor made a mistake. The victim was a phony. I don't know. We're gonna drop a save right there. I think. Mr. Kudo. Let's see.
What if? What if? What if? Because the medicine was in the kitchen, they put it in Mr. Kudo's drink.
What?
I don't know what that would do. Maybe like if it has a disorienting effect on him or something. I don't know. But
I think. Well, okay, hang on. Where's the left eardrum was ruptured.
oh, yeah, but that doesn't.
Oh,
explain
wait,
why.
hold on. I think I got it.
Okay.
I think I'm beginning to understand.
Okay. He was a crisis actor.
Wake up, Phoenix!
I think Mr. Kudo made a mistake.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Clearly, Mr. Kudo made a mistake.
Mr. Trite, you're the one who brought up all these contradictions.
And?
If you're trying to tell us the old man just made a mistake, we can wrap up this case right now with a guilty verdict.
How about it, Mr. Wright? Should I just declare your client guilty? What? Oh no! Never mind, we were both wrong.
Is that the best you can come up with, Nick? Jesus!
Oh my god, we're gonna lose!
Rewind time. Alright, I guess the victim was a phony then.
All right. This case is riddled with contradictions. Yet there's one very simple answer that clears them all up. You're right, Keeters. And what is that? The incident Mr. Kudo witnessed and the incident the victim experienced were two completely different events.
What?
Yes, the victim that Mr. Kudo saw wasn't Mr. Glen Elg at all. It was an imposter, a phony pretending to be Mr. Elg.
Oh no, who could ever pull off such a feat of disguise and mastery?
Obviously, unlike the victim, there was nothing wrong with the imposter's left eardrum. That's how he ended up wearing the earpiece in his left ear by mistake.
Oh, gross. Why does he keep doing that? There's coffee everywhere.
Order! Order in the court. Settle down or I'll clear the courtroom. I know it
Quiet,
was
Gramps. Why don't you clear out of here, huh?
gross. What did you say?
Trite. Are you saying that what Mr. Kudo saw was a setup?
Yes. Someone pretended to be Glen Elg and acted out the whole coffee poisoning. All for the express purpose of creating a witness out of one Mr. Victor Kudo.
Get real, Trite. Why would anyone want to do that?
Isn't it obvious? The thing Mr. Kudo was most insistent about in his testimony was...
The serving girl brought him a Javachino, but she put something in it. That's the serving girl right there in the defender's chair. I remember her well.
It's so hard to believe, but... There was one, and only one reason to show Mr. Kudo this fake poisoning. To show Maggie Bird in the act of poisoning the coffee.
Are you insinuating that the waitress in the old man's story was a fake as well? It's true that there was no other customers in the restaurant at the time, but... It's also true that the chef was there. He would have noticed what was happening.
That's right. Well, witness, if your restaurant really was the scene of such theatrics, you would have known about it, correct?
Oh la la, this is most difficult for me.
No, it's quite simple. All you have to do is testify. You are under oath, after all.
Oh boy.
Was there, in fact, a phony at Trabian that day? The defense demands that Mr. Armstrong tell the whole truth about what happened. The defense's request for additional testimony is accepted. You will accurately explain, in detail, the events in the restaurant that day.
Oh, oui. La victim, Monsieur Elg, he came to my restaurant alone. I remember the old man arrived not long after him. There were no other customers.
Oh.
When he got word he won the lottery, Monsieur Elg became very excited. It was approximately 5 minutes later that the poisoning incident occurred. No, there was no time for a phone to do the acting.
Just so we're clear, there was no mirror in the restaurant after all?
Je vous demande pardon. Forgive me, Your Honor. I lied because I wanted this mess to be cleared up quickly.
What you have just done is commit perjury, Mr. Armstrong. I will decide how to punish you later.
Oui.
For now, we will hear your cross-examination. Mr. Wright, if you please. He took that perjury charge a bit too well. But I'm guessing he'll be in more serious trouble after this cross-examination.
Let's see.
Was he alone at his table as well?
Mais oui, I saw him from the kitchen.
Yet the defendant, Ms. Bird, remembers it differently. She swears there was another man at the victim's table.
Huh. Unfortunately for you, Trite, yesterday's witness also testified that the victim was alone. You know, seeing you squirm like that reminds me of a certain coffee's bittersweet bite.
What kind of coffee has he been drinking?
It's not coffee, it's love. It's love that's bittersweet.
Hearing Maya say that makes her seem wise all of a sudden. By old man, you mean Victor Kudo, correct?
Oui, it comes often for my special coffee.
I drank your coffee once, Mr. Armstrong. It's special, I'll give you that. It's worth a sip just for the experience.
Oh, you make me so happy, monsieur. You are most welcome anytime.
I said it was worth one sip, and nothing more.
So, old Mr. Kudo arrived at the restaurant around the same time as the victim. Maybe I should ask about his arrival in more detail. Out of curiosity, about what time was it when Mr. Kudo arrived?
Oh no, I cannot remember, monsieur.
I believe we were told by a witness yesterday. The crime was reported at 2:25 p.m. by a kinda scary old man, sir. Does that perhaps jog your memory, witness?
The incident happened about 20 minutes after he arrived. So the victim must have arrived between 2 p.m. and 2:10, no?
Just after 2, huh?
Thank you for your help in jogging my memory, monsieur. You are wonderful.
I can't sit here all the time and do nothing now, can I? The time of day will be added to the witness's testimony.
Oui, monsieur judge. Everything I do it for you.
Merci bien. That's French, isn't it? Ha ha ha! I'm glad at least one person is in a good mood.
He's even humming a song to himself.
Are you absolutely sure about the time?
When I think really hard, I am sure it was just after 2, eh? It is that time I stopped serving their lunch menu.
Quite right. I always break for lunch when the restaurants are serving their specials. I've been known to wind up a case early just to make it on time. Haha.
Oh boy.
I guess you should never get between hungry judge and his lunch.
That sounds like a problem.
Oh, would you look at that? It's almost lunchtime already, Mr. Wright.
No.
Witness, get on with your testimony, please. So your only customers were Mr. Kudo and the victim?
How many times do you need to ask the same thing, Trite? You'd never catch me drinking the same blend twice.
Huh?
You're trying to establish the presence of a phony victim in the restaurant, but you're wasting your time. You can't grind birdseed to make coffee, if you catch my drift.
That'd be crazy.
Right?
But there's a hole in this testimony somewhere. I'm sure of it. Did you see him?
No, I was in the kitchen, but I heard him. I remember him shouting, Yes, $500,000.
Presumably the defendant heard that too, then, correct?
Maggie? She looked like a poor little frightened dove.
And what about Mr. Kudo?
The old man choked on some bird seeds that got stuck in his throat.
It seems we now have yet another incident on our hands. And what were you doing at that point? Without any customers, you must have had time to kill.
I am a multi-talented woman, monsieur.
Sorry? What do you mean?
There is le renowned chef Jean Armstrong and the tragic poet Clarice Armstrong.
Clarice?
Oui, I was writing a poem, an angry tale of a chef and $500,000 of debt. Cooking for a man who won $500,000 on the lottery. It is called Pourquoi? It means why. Perhaps I could recite it for la court?
Please don't. You mean you contacted the police as soon as the incident occurred?
I asked the old man to call from the payphone.
By your own argument, right? The purpose of this phony victim's performance was so the old man would see it. In other words, once the incident occurred, this opportunity would completely disappear.
Indeed.
Then it seems the shadow of doubt has been lifted, n'est-ce pas? I guess Mr. Armstrong is connected to this case, huh?
Absolutely. Someone was impersonating Mr. Elg, and I refuse to believe he was well oblivious. He was there the whole time, after all.
But if you're right, wouldn't Maggie have noticed too?
She fell unconscious when the incident occurred, remember?
Oh, you mean that's when the phony stays his act?
We'll know for sure once I find a hole in this testimony.
I presume that we probably present something.
Sure.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, so he won the lottery, but it says he arrived like shortly. Okay, I got it.
Oh, I know what you mean. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Get in there. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm afraid I finally got you, Mr. Armstrong.
Quoi? What do you mean?
At the time in question, the victim was listening to the radio with his earpiece. The show he was listening to was Millionaire Radio. Each week, they announced the winning numbers of the $500,000 lottery ticket.
Oui, that must be the show Mr. Elg was listening to.
I can't see any problem with this testimony, Mr. Wright. I wonder... You say the victim arrived at your restaurant after 2 p.m., correct?
Oui, I am sure of it. I remember it perfectly now. I know it was that time because I had just finished serving lunch menu.
Get to the point, Shrite, if you have one.
That show is broadcast live at 1:30 p.m. And it claims to be the most thrilling 10 minutes of your life. It's on air at 1:30? Now, supposedly, the victim made some noise when it was announced that he had won. And yet, I don't believe his cry of joy could have occurred after 2 p.m. Because the show had already finished more than 30 minutes earlier by that point in time.
No!
This victim we've been told about has done nothing but the impossible. Listening to the radio with a ruptured eardrum, catching a show that was already over. There's only one conclusion you can draw from these facts. This victim was an imposter, acting out the poisoning 30 minutes after the real murder.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Well, makes sense. Yes, there were 2 Glen Elgs in Trebian that day. The real Glen Elg, now dead, having been poisoned by the real killer. And the phony Glen Elg, acting out the events for Mr. Kudo to witness. It certainly seemed that way. I mean, if that wasn't the case, how could you explain the time discrepancy?
Quite a performance, Trite. You were almost on a roll. But sadly, you lack the rock-hard foundation of rhythm to build your song.
What is this? Music Theory 101?
Let's recap. According to your imaginative theory, it's now just after 2 p.m. The phony elk is performing a play for the benefit of Mr. Kudo. How do you explain, then, where the real Glen Elk is?
I don't believe I have to spell this out for the court. However, at that time, the real Glen Elg was already dead. That's certainly the obvious conclusion.
Thank you, Trite. That's exactly what I was hoping you would say.
What?
Now, I presume you can prove this theory of yours. Can you explain where the missing corpse went to?
The missing corpse?
According to the old man's testimony, there was only one other customer there. If that customer was the phony Glen Elg, then where did the killer hide the body of the real victim?
Ah!
Oh, he does make a good point there.
Yeah, the body. The prosecution has a valid point, Mr. Wright. If your theory is to stand up to examination by the court, you must provide us with proof by answering the prosecution's question. Where did the killer hide the body? Yes, Your Honor.
No conjecture, Trite. Let's hear some facts for once. Show the court a piece of evidence that proves where the body was hidden.
Evidence?
What's with the intense pressure in here all of a sudden?
I thought I had him with that contradiction. But he's turned it all around and backed me into a corner instead. Well, Mr. Wright, the court will now hear the defense's theory and evidence. First, where was the body of the real Mr. L concealed?
I mean, presumably it has to be inside.
Right. It would have been too dangerous to take the body outside. Obviously, the body must have been hidden somewhere inside Très Bien. Interesting. But where could a body have been hidden inside the restaurant? Perhaps you would care to show the court on these plans, Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. The exact location where the body was concealed inside the restaurant was... The body was hidden here. I see.
Nice supposition. But the real question is, can you back it up? Where's evidence that proves the body was hidden in that location?
Ooh. There you go. Now it finally comes in.
Yeah!
Mr. Armstrong, do you recognize this bottle?
No. have never seen that ugly bottle before in my life. I only use the very best bottles, monsieur. The highest quality only for me.
Where was that bottle found, Mr. Wright? Interestingly enough, Your Honor, it was found in the kitchen of Très Bien.
Quoi? But I only ever use these bottles for my aromatherapy oils.
But this bottle doesn't contain aromatherapy oil, Mr. Armstrong. No, it contains a medication. Oh, what kind of medication?
Wow, this really brings to mind the horrifying grim truth that Phoenix Wright has now eaten food that has come out of a kitchen harboring a dead body.
Oh!
Ugh.
But they would have cleared the body by then. They have the whole
yes.
and, like... I'm sure everyone remembers, don't they? That Mr. Elg visited an oh, Jesus Christ. otolaryngological clinic and was given medication that day. I don't know why.
You can't be serious. I drank coffee out of there, man!
The defense had the contents of the bottle analyzed, and I have the lab results here. The contents of the bottle matched the prescription that was given to Mr. L. Ew. Glenn Elg's murderer hid the body in the restaurant kitchen, at which time this bottle fell out of the victim's pocket. Mr. Armstrong. When the incident occurred, didn't you say you were in the kitchen?
Mon Dieu.
Yes, you know what I'm about to say. It was you who hid the victim's body. You did a fine job pretending to defend my client, Maggie Bird. However, you were setting her up to take the fall behind the poor girl's back.
No. Oh, that's wicked, man.
Order! Order! This is an extraordinary development. Witness, did you murder Mr. Glenn Elg?
Never. I could not do such an horrible thing.
Oh.
No!
Mr. Gatto?
The bitterness. Every time I get lied to, I always down a mug of coffee. That's one of my rules.
Do you have the slightest idea how many cups you've had by now?
Then I like to do the same to the person who lied to me.
Cup 17 came early today.
I like to take them down with my empty cup.
Phoenix Duck.
Yeah. Phoenix, run!
Listen up, chef. How about a brand new flavor in your ear? My H deficient friend.
Why was that so hard for me to say?
Otolaryngological.
Right? Je vous demande pardon. Please, you must hear me out. There's a trap. Listen to me. Por favor. What?
Por favor.
Por favor.
Yo hablo español, Mr. Armstrong, and por favor is Spanish.
Wow, multicultural judge.
Man, Judge, get in there.
I'm only going to ask you once. Did you do it?
No, absolutely no. I simply...
Let's hear it. You've got one shot, right, Gramps?
Witness, the court will permit you the chance to make one final statement. If you lie under oath again, Mr. Gatto's coffee mug awaits you.
Wow.
Wow! As does my gavel.
It is clear.
What do they always say in the movies? I've got a bad feeling about this. Very well. Begin your final testimony, Mr. Armstrong.
It is true. I hid the body in the kitchen.
Oh, man.
A man forced me to do it. I had no choice. I had to go along with him because there was a reason I could not refuse. But I did not kill him. Swear it. You must believe me.
You were forced? By who?
I cannot say, or I will be erased.
Let's try a different question then. When Mr. Elk died, was he really the only person at his table?
There was.
Oh!
There was another man.
Finally! I knew it.
Maggie was telling the truth.
You may cross-examine the witness now, Mr. Wright. There's just one more thing I need to do. I gotta break this guy and get him to tell us the name of the real killer. Did you carry the body by yourself?
I carried him, and I carried Maggie too.
Maggie too?
When she saw the victim collapse, she fainted. I could not leave her there.
But why did you hide the bodies? What man? Who was he?
No, I cannot say. I fear for my life.
He's really scared.
We'll just have to put the words in his mouth, Nick.
Yeah, you're right. If he won't tell me, I'll tell him. But why would you go along with this man? And what reason would that be, Mr. Armstrong?
No, monsieur.
Yes?
Surely you cannot expect a young maiden to talk about such an embarrassment.
A maiden? You're a bit old to get away with that.
And a bit too male. Well, be respectful, man.
Y'all disrespect. I can't finish the cross-examination without establishing his reason. So I'll just have to prove it with evidence.
Oh.
You do have $500,000 debt, don't you? $500,000? Is this true, Mr. Armstrong?
Oui, je suis désolé. I was weak and I borrowed the money.
$500,000, Jesus Christ!
This is Mr. Armstrong's Achilles heel. And that's why you couldn't refuse anything asked of you by this man. A $500,000 loan from a black market loan shark. And you had no way of paying it back, did you? That's why you were forced to do anything this man told you.
Oui, it is as you say.
Mr. Armstrong.
The tiger. He told me he was going to use my restaurant for a business rendezvous. On the day in question, he was meeting the victim to demand that he repay his loan. I don't know why it happened like that. I just did what he told me to. I had no choice. I carried the body and inconscient Maggie out of the dining area and into the kitchen. After that, I just tried to forget what I had seen.
I think we can now safely say that the man who forced your hand was Mr. Furio Tigre.
Mr. Furio Tigre.
I just noticed his shirt.
His shirt? Yeah.
Tiger. Biting down on the dragon. I do have one further question for you, Mr. Armstrong.
For those of you that missed the little preamble, so the joke here, and the thing that this whole like kind of like phony situation is like really funny for, is so Furio Tigre, his name is Toranosuke in the Japanese version, which contains the character for tiger, right? Tora means tiger. But in the Japanese version of the game, Phoenix Wright's name is Ryuichi Naruhodo, which is like Dragon 1, and then Naruhodo, which means I understand. So it's also kind of a joke. But like, and I was explaining how the like tiger and dragon kind of mythology is like a thing, like the eternal rivalry of the tiger and the dragon. So it's it's very funny. And then Furio Tigre is wearing a shirt where a tiger is biting down on a dragon. Ryu, by the way, if you couldn't tell, means dragon. Just like Ryu ga Gotoku.
Oh, and they also have a tiger-dragon rivalry.
They do. Okay, speaking of, so we were playing Kiwami, right? Kiwami 2 the other day. We got to the part where Kiryu fights 2 tigers.
Oh, that's right!
He just has to straight up fight tigers.
You know how my men do.
Yeah. For observant listeners out there too, Kiryu also contains the character for dragon.
Yeah. He's the dragon of Dojima.
The dragon of Dojima.
I do have one further question for you, Mr. Armstrong.
Also, that's also why Ryuji go to, because Ryu and then G. So.
The poison and the lottery ticket that were found in the defendant's apron pocket. Was that your doing as well?
None, I knew nothing about that. Making it look like it was Maggie who had done it. I was not. It is despicable.
Mr. Gatto, you will summon this Furio Tigre as a witness. I doubt that can be arranged today, so we will adjourn for now. Proceedings will continue tomorrow.
30 minutes.
What?
The trial will go on. I'll see to it myself. I need half an hour to get that guy on the stand. Not a minute more.
Oh, but...
Don't sit back and relax yet, trite. No one knows if that chef is really telling the truth or not. This trial could still go either way.
Oh, very well. Your request is granted, Mr. Gatto. We will resume once Mr. Tigre is ready to take the stand. Until then, court is adjourned for a 30-minute recess.
To be continued.
Alright, cool. Well, we will take our own 5-minute break then.
Sounds good.
Enjoy the new break screen. I'll be
Yay!
back. Oh, I guess before I should go, I should leave the music, huh? God, I feel like the last case I'm gonna have to start showing up with like a cup of coffee. Come back.
Yeah. We back.
We back in business. Well, there's 50 seconds left in this song, so I guess we'll just let it run. This is a good break length. 5:53. It's like 6 minutes. I feel like at some point I should play the original version because it sounds really good in the Pixel too.
Yeah.
The like chiptune version. All right, let's get it.
Woo!
January 8th, 1:21 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 1.
So we're finally going to see the Tiger on the stand. We've almost got this case won now, Nick.
I wish I could agree.
Huh?
When I cross-examined Mr. Armstrong just now, he said he was just doing what the Tiger told him to do. But Gatto picked up on it, remember? He pointed out that without proof, we don't know if what he testified is the truth.
True. You mean, you think Mr. Armstrong was lying?
I don't know, but if that's the line the prosecution takes, we could be in big trouble. I get the feeling that we don't have the case-making evidence we're going to need. Hey, pal! Detective Gumshoe, what are you upset about now?
What are you so jumpy about, Detective? Your hair is standing on end.
Hey, that's the pot calling the kettle black, little Miss Top Knot.
It's not a top knot!
Never mind about the hair. Just calm down, alright? I can't stand still when I don't have a job to do. I kind of get wound up. Ah! No kidding. You gotta have something you need me to do, pal. Anything. If you're volunteering. Hey, I'm gonna take a jog back down to the precinct. I could get some prints analyzed for you if you got an hour. An hour? The trial would have reconvened by then.
But Nick, we still don't have a really decisive piece of evidence, right?
True. Without some kind of trump card to pull out of the bag, we're really stuck. You said you could get some fingerprint analysis done in an hour? You bet! In that case, would you mind checking the prints on this for me?
So we have the small bottle.
Yeah.
And then we have this bottle with Maggie's fingerprints.
But they already checked it for prints and then we found Maggie's, right?
Yeah. So it must be this then.
Yeah. We're going back to the station anyway. Could you find out whose prints are on this? Oh hey, that's the small bottle I gave back to you this morning, right? Yeah, I think it's about time we solved the last mystery of who the prints on it belong to. Sure thing, pal. Actually, that's been gnawing at me too.
Small bottle given to Detective Gumshoe.
Okay, I'll get this off to the lab right away. Just make sure you don't lose the case before I get back. Bye.
Bye.
This is pretty much the final showdown, I guess.
It's time
We'll
to
be up at
separate
8 a.m.
Yep. It's time to separate the phonies from the real guys. January 8th, 1:56 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 4. The judge had like just enough time to eat lunch.
Court will now reconvene. Mr. Gatto, did you find this Furio Tigre?
I even tamed him for you. It was a 3-cup job, no problem.
Wow. Tamed him? The guy's name may be Furio Tigre, but come on.
He's pretty lively. Be careful. He still bites.
Very well. Please show Mr. Tigre to the stand. Witness?
Ah!
Don't hide under the table, Maya. Unless there's room down for me down there too.
What you say to me?
Nothing. I didn't say nothing. Honest. Could have guessed that fear would induce a bad broken accent in the judge.
I got business to take care of, you hear me? So who the hell called me into this hole? Was it you, Spiky?
No, of course not. It was the judge. Your Honor. Oh dear, I seem to have dropped my pen. Where on earth is it? Don't mind me. Just carry on with the proceedings as normal. That's it. We're doomed.
Maybe you didn't hear me. I said, who the hell was it that called me in here?
There's no need to shout. We can all hear you.
What'd you say?
There's no point struggling. You're caught in a snare. The relentless snare of the law. And I'm the one that hauled you in.
Ooh. Too cool.
He's too cool. Don't let him get the better of you, Nick.
Let's start with the basics. You know about the incident in question, correct?
Incident? I don't know nothing about no stinking incident, mask boy.
You mean you didn't attend the previous trial of Maggie Bird?
Maggie who? I've got more important things to do than watch courtroom dramas.
Of course. Well, perhaps you could give us your testimony then. Please tell us about what you did on the day of the murder.
Huh. Phoenix, right? You was the one who set this up, didn't ya? You was gonna regret the day you ruffled the tiger's fur. You hear what I'm saying?
Maybe I should have brought a diaper with me today.
Get a grip, Nick.
She says from under the table.
Right. I don't know nothing about no murder. I was tied up with business in December last year. Spent all my time in the office. I got whales lined up to borrow cash from Tenderland every single day. You just want to check my alibi? Just ask for your letter.
At last I found my pen. Very well then, Mr. Wright.
Ah!
What is it? Please, witness, if you could refrain from shouting out like that.
I know the kind of games the guy in blue plays.
That lowlife ain't no lawyer. He just punches away at stupid details till he wins.
I mean,
What? Oh, like me?
Listen up, Smarty. Every time you ask me something that doesn't relate to this case, I'm gonna bill you $50,000, and you's gonna borrow the cash from me.
That's one loan contract I refuse to sign.
I don't think it ain't gonna hurt when you tangle with the tiger. Ha! I love a good spectator sport.
Just a minute. That's really not.
This witness is... how can I put it? A hungry tiger roaming the urban jungle. Get on his bad side and he'll bite everyone's heads off. Yours, too.
Very well. I have no choice but to impose a penalty system here.
You better be listening. I said I got business to take care of. Big business. If I don't split now, I ain't gonna catch my bus.
The court will impose a penalty for any irrelevant pressing of witness testimony.
Oh boy.
Keep that in mind as you begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor.
you can do it, Nick.
Come out from under there already, would you, Maya?
Oh boy.
By Violetta, you're talking about the Cadaverini families.
Yeah. You don't want to cross them. He was gonna wind up sleeping with the fishes.
Once the Godfather finds out you've been dragging Violetta through the mud,
Hell, do ya in?
Sorry, I couldn't quite put it all together towards the end there.
he said that just like Viola, didn't he?
I get the feeling this might not be the right time to probe him about her. It's too dangerous to press things without knowing where they might end up. I'd better just focus on gathering information at the moment. Now then, Mr. Tigre. Would you mind repeating your testimony from the beginning, please?
My time ain't free, you hear? You better remember that. If I miss that bus, someone's gonna pay.
Are you sure about that? We're talking about 1 month ago, you know.
You see these teeth? That's how sharp my secretary is.
Sharp? Is he talking about Viola Cadaverini?
She writes everything in my scheduler. December, mainly in the office. This is what it says. So that's where I was.
That seems like a rather, sketchy schedule. Here he goes again. What the tiger did all December wasn't the issue. What's important is what he was doing on the day of the murder. So now what?
What yous want?
If you wouldn't mind going into a bit more detail.
This is a dead-end trite, and you know it. Remember the rules.
No, it's essential that we establish the witness's alibi correctly. I agree. The victim was killed on December 3rd. Were you in the office that day too?
Maybe yous ain't listening. Of course I was. Never set foot outside. I had meetings all day with a bunch of cats wanting to do business with me. I ain't never seen that young kid before.
I do believe the witness's last statement was important. Mr. Gato, if you could please.
Mr. Tigre, the court asks you to add that last statement to your testimony.
Don't let an animal beat you. Be a man, Your Honor, and ask him yourself.
The day you was talking about, I was in the office too. Never saw that kid before. Well, that seems like a lie.
Hmm?
Let's see. Yep, probably this.
Mr. Tigre. You claim you didn't know Mr. Glenelg. But it appears that Mr. Elg knew you.
What?
Mr. Elg left this little note on his calendar. Meet with the tiger. And the date? December 3rd. December 3rd? That's the day of the murder! So, Mr. Tigre, I submit that you did indeed know one Mr. Glenelg. Because on the very day of the incident, you met with him.
Man, that scary guy. Not bad. He was actually not bad.
Sorry?
I was just messing with you to see how good you were.
Did you hear that, Nick? He said you're not bad.
That's one compliment I can do without. Plus, he's lying through his teeth. Witness, please remember that you're under oath. Lies will not be tolerated.
You was calling me a liar? Is that what you're doing? So you're saying that your claim to have never seen that kid before is the truth?
I said I'm dead serious. You better believe that's the truth.
Huh. Then I'd say that gives me time to enjoy another cup of pure black magic. That is, while you testify for the court again, Mr. Tigre.
Oh, yes. Would you mind indulging the court to a witness? You never actually met the victim? That's gotta be a lie right there. It's time I nailed this guy.
I ain't no liar. I never met Glen Elk.
There was some lame guy with that name, though. Wanted to borrow cash from me. Set up a meeting with the guy. At my office, 10 to Linda. I waited around for him, but he ain't never showed. I ain't never even been to that trade band joint user here.
I see. Oh, well, that all seems perfectly logical, You had arranged to meet with the victim, but he didn't show up.
I've heard it's pretty hard to keep appointments when you're dead.
Very well, you may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor.
Didn't I tell you I got a big deal going down today? I ain't gonna make my bus now. I'm gonna have to take the express train. That bill's going straight to you, right?
I don't have money. Never? Not even once?
Not even once. I was in my office the day that went down. I didn't put no poison in no kid's coffee, capiche?
Do you think he really didn't meet Glen Elg?
Not likely. Because I'm convinced this guy's behind the whole thing.
Look at him, he's a criminal mastermind.
Uh,
So you mean that whole testimony he gave was just a lie?
of course. So we can't afford to give him time to think of ways to plug the leaks in.
What? You mean people would do that? They would just get on the witness stand and lie?
I've got to nail him while I still can. Mr. Tigre, is there something you'd like to tell the court about these matches?
Matches? What you talking about?
We found them in your office at Tenderlander. They're from that restaurant. If you've really never been to Trebian before, what was a book of the restaurant's matches doing on your desk?
You've been snooping around in my stuff now too, wise guy? What are you, my ball and chain? Ain't no bra controlling me. What is he talking about? I can't understand him.
I don't... Order! Order! Well, witness? I think it's time you started telling us the truth, don't you?
Ah!
Sorry, I'm terribly sorry. Please forgive me.
I ain't no pussycat. I don't go back on what I said. But okay, I was at the joint that day.
What?
But listen good, alright? I might have been there, but I still never met that kid. Well. Looks like an order just came in for another testimony.
I'm this close to proving it was him. He did meet Glen Elg that day. And he did put poison in his coffee. He must have.
I was supposed to meet with the kid at the restaurant that afternoon. When I opened the door to the joint, I saw one ugly scene. The guy was laid out over the table, stiff as concrete. Figured if the place wasn't hot already, it's gonna be, so I split. I heard the cops' sirens on my way out, and I went straight back to my office.
I see. You didn't actually meet with him in the end, then. Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor.
Hold it, if I wait around here any longer, I ain't even gonna make the normal express. No more stupid questions. Ha. No problem. Anytime Trite presses you on something irrelevant, I'll see he pays a penalty.
Mr. Gatto, that's my job.
Your job is to slam that little hammer of yours and call a guilty verdict. So do it.
Yes, sir.
The Special Express ain't cheap, right? Just so yous know since yous paying.
Oh, man. Doesn't the rule of law mean anything around here?
Apparently not.
Nope.
Well, Nick, what do you think?
He's running out of ways to avoid the truth. You need to press him fast before he has time to think things through. We've got to come right back at him with a contradiction.
Be careful what you press him on, though, or you'll get penalized, okay? Oh.
You're something of a loan collecting pro, aren't you, Mr. Tigre?
No one escapes the tiger's clutches.
Well, I'm something of a lie detecting pro.
Hmm?
And no one escapes the Phoenix's clutches. I think it's time we got something straight.
What's this, Trite? A new line of irrelevant questioning?
These are the floor plans of the crime scene. You say you were standing at the entrance, Mr. Tigre? From there, your field of view would have covered an area something like this. Indeed, the witness would have had a clear view of the victim's seat.
Isn't that what I just said? I saw the back of the kid's head.
Unfortunately for you, that is not possible. If the court would think back, you'll remember that between each of the tables is a tall partition. Why, that's true. Now look at the plans again. The truth is painfully obvious. From the entrance, the field of vision of any customer walking in ends here. So, from the entrance of Très Bien, you couldn't have seen the victim's seat. But you did see the victim that day, because you met with him.
Wrong! Have you forgotten the old man's testimony yesterday? The victim was alone at his table.
But the defense just proved that point to be moot. The victim witnessed by Mr. Kudo was not Glen Elk, but a fake.
What?
In order to have Mr. Kudo falsely testify, the real killer posed as the victim he had just killed and acted out a charade. Wow! That will do! This trial has gone on long enough without the obvious question being answered. Who exactly was this real killer who impersonated the victim? You say the killer murdered Glen Elg and then impersonated his victim in a performance for Victor Kudo? In that case, Mr. Wright, reveal the identity of this criminal to the court. Ooh. Obviously, the killer is Furio Tigre. No one else could have done it. What? Well, witness?
Now that's cute.
Oh.
You think you can pin this on the tiger? Maybe you don't understand. The tiger's king of the jungle. So I dare you to say it again. Come on. You got the guts?
You can't threaten me, Mr. Tigre. It's the defense. Go ahead and tell the witness, Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright!
Sounds to me like it must be you, old man. Who's got guts, I'll give you that.
Mr. Wright, please do not leave me to handle this alone.
Huh. Perhaps I can end this embarrassment.
Mr. Gato?
Let's just go back over Mr. Kudo's testimony one more time. The old man didn't just see just the victim. Oh, no, no, no.
The serving girl brought him a Javachino, but she put something in it. There's no question about it. She very conspicuously put some white powder in it.
Was the victim he saw the real victim or not? That doesn't matter. The fact remains he saw the accused put the poison into the coffee.
Yes, it was the waitress who put the... Very impressive, Mr. Kato. Waiting for my absence to launch your attack.
Found your pen at last, Trite?
It was in my pocket. But anyway, Mr. Kudo witnessed two people that day. He saw the victim, the supposed Mr. Glenelg, and the waitress from behind. Yes, and your point, Mr. Wright? I think the conclusion is obvious. If this Glenelg was really the killer in disguise, then surely it's possible the waitress was also part of the show. What? You mean the waitress was an imposter as well?
What kind of sussy baka shit is this?
The defendant, Mr. Ms. Bird, fell unconscious immediately after the incident. And someone used her fainting to hatch an elaborate plan to pin the murder on her. Who on earth was it? Who was this waitress that Mr. Kudo witnessed? Who is this woman? Her name is Viola Cadaverini. She's an employee of Tenderlender.
He's making a big mistake. Do you know who Violeta's grandfather is? You better be going home in an armored truck tonight if you know what I mean.
Stop shaking, Nick.
Where was I? Yes, the defendant, Miss Bird, has stated the following. Well, when I took the coffee over to the victim's table, it's true there was another customer in the restaurant. She was sort of creepy. And she had a kind of cackling laugh. There are just too many contradictions in this case. The second man at the victim's table, who nobody but Miss Bird seems to have seen. The earpiece worn by the victim in his left ear when that eardrum was ruptured. And the radio show he's supposedly listening to half an hour after it was over. There's only one logical explanation that clears up all of these contradictions. The whole incident took place twice. Once for real, and once for show. And Mr. Furio Tigre, the only person who could have committed the crime, is you. Witness, what have you got to say?
It's cute.
Sorry?
He's alright. I could do with a guy like you around.
What do you mean?
Okay, I'm in on this game. I'm gonna have to charter a jet to get to my meeting now, but I'm gonna give you one more thing to think about before I go.
Something to think about?
You've got it all wrapped up nice, alright? But you've missed out on one real important thing.
But that can't be.
I was in the joint that day, and I met that kid too. But I couldn't have poisoned him, you see?
What? Do you really expect us to believe you now, Mr. Tigre?
Huh. What a troublemaker.
Troublemaker?
Looks like we're gonna need another one for the road. One more steaming cup of hot testimony.
Hot.
Hot.
Indeed. Witness, you will explain yourself to the court. I will give you one more chance to testify. What happened that day at Trapien between yourself and the victim?
Yeah, I loaned El Cash $100,000. That day, we was due to have a little chat. Get it at the payday day, his payback day, see? So anyway, he tells me he's got no way to pay up. I'm about to flatten the guy when he starts screaming. Yeah, I won $500,000. He got lucky, you know, real lucky. If that waitress hadn't done what she done, everything would have been over.
Now I see that the principal amount you loaned to Mr. Ogg was $50,000.
Yeah, well, he's got the VIG to take into account. Interest builds up fast, you know.
It's faster than fast. $100,000 is twice his principal. And the repayment deadline was December 3rd, the day of the incident in question.
Yeah, he was unlucky kid. He got that $500,000 just in time. So I ain't have no reason to kill the kid. If I ain't got no motive, you ain't got no case.
His motive? He has to have one, but what is it?
Giving that one a think emoji.
The waitress. You mean...
The girl with the glass in the defendant's chair. Who else could I mean? If she hadn't gotten in the way, things would have been bada bing bada boom, over and done with.
Maybe I should push a little harder on this. What do you mean things would have been over and done with?
He was all there, what? Talking about the cash. I was there to get my $100,000 back, that's all. I'm a businessman. It's all coming together before that waitress got in the way.
As far as I can tell from the witness's testimony, other than recouping his loan, Mr. Tigre had no motive for killing the victim. Witness, you will amend your testimony to reflect what you just said, The tiger's motive, huh?
I was after the $100,000. I didn't have no other reason to kill the guy. Well, that's interesting.
So, you just intended to get back the $100,000 Mr. Ogg owed you, correct?
I loaned the guy the cash, so that's my right.
Unfortunately for Mr. Elk, I don't believe the $100,000 is what you were really after.
What are you getting at, Trite? What else would a moneylender be after other than money?
Oh, the moneylender was after the money. But money in a totally different league. The kind of money that a single disc like this would fetch. Oh, what is that? A computer virus, Your Honor. A virus called MC Bomber. A computer virus? Oh, what does one of those do? A computer virus is a program that wreaks havoc on the insides of a computer. A computer? What does one of those do? I guess the beard isn't the only part of his honor that is from the Stone Age. Whoa!
Wow.
I'll explain it to you later, Your Honor. Right now, this is the important point. A virus like MC Bomber would be worth several $1 million on the black market. Several $1 million! Lending money with no hope of ever seeing repayment would normally be bad for business. But in this case, the very fact that Glen Elg had no way to repay the money is crucial. What? Glen Elg was a programmer, a highly skilled programmer. That skill was the collateral Mr. Elg put up in order to borrow the money.
You're trying to suggest the witness's motive was to get hold of that program?
Exactly.
The witness may have poor fashion sense, but he is by no means an idiot trite. A man like him could get his hands on $1 million without resorting to murder.
Of course he could, provided that he had time. But what if he had needed the money right then? When the pressure's on, the luxury of choice tends to disappear. It seems you have a logical conclusion for this theory, Mr. Wright. Would you care to share it with us? Why did Mr. Tigre need money to the tune of $1 million? Leave it close. In December of last year, you found yourself in need of a huge amount of money. About 6 months ago, you were involved in a traffic accident, weren't you? An accident involving a car and a scooter, in which a young woman was injured. She was taken to the hospital where she underwent surgery.
Can we talk about how, like, this woman almost died by crashing into this dinky little scooter?
I know, right?
How much damage did it do?
Jeez.
How much of this do you know?
These medical papers document the treatment of the young woman in question. According to these, her operation cost $1 million. And yet, when the payment was due last month, you somehow managed to pay it in full. $1 million? A preposterous sum. Someone should sue these HMOs.
Huh. No one would pay a bill like that. If the medical association got wind of it, the hospital would end up as dead as a morgue.
But Mr. Tigre had no choice but to pay. Because his very life depended on it. Order! 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 You say his life depended on it, Mr. Wright? Indeed it did. Simply because the injured woman was none other than Viola Cadaverini.
Did you say Cadaverini?
Bruto Cadaverini, mob boss in charge of all underworld activities in the city, and doting grandfather to his precious Violetta, also known as Viola Cadaverini. Your life was in danger unless you paid compensation to the boss, correct? It makes sense. You were desperate to acquire the $1 million Bruto Cadaverini demanded of you. So desperate, in fact, that you decided to sacrifice Glen Elg's life to pay your debt. On the day of the murder, Mr. Tigre's sole intention was to get his hands on this CD. Glen Elg had no way of paying back the $100,000, and Mr. Tigre knew it. But then a miracle happened. The kind that Mr. Tigre would prefer to say never happened. But he can't, neither can I.
The lottery win.
Exactly. At the 11th hour, Mr. Elg won $500,000 on the lottery.
There's so many people in this restaurant that were like so in debt.
which left Mr. Tigre with no way of getting his hands on the all-important CD. At least, no legitimate way. So he resorted to illegitimate means.
That's crazy.
He murdered Glen Elg and then made his move to frame Maggie Bird for the crime. Mr. Tigre posed as Glen Elg, while Viola Cadaverini played the role of Miss Bird. And then they reenacted the whole thing in order to establish a witness. The witness being the one we all heard testify yesterday, Mr. Victor Kudo.
Objection!
Like I said, Trite, that's crazy. No one could pull off a stunt like that. For starters, there's no way the chef could have been kept in the dark about it.
But Mr. Armstrong was in on it from the very beginning. Have you forgotten already, Mr. Gatto? Mr. Armstrong owed the witness money too. $500,000, in fact. He had no choice but to go along with Mr. Tigre's plan.
Is that man okay?
Order, order!
You put on a good show, Spiky. If you want to stay alive in the loan shark business, you gotta be careful. You saying I dressed up like that kid, created a witness, framed someone? If I did something crazy like that, I'd leave a trail as bright as my shirt. I ain't dumb enough to do something sloppy like that.
I agree.
Dude?
Despite your appearance, you are very careful. That's why you took one more precaution. One more trick to make sure Miss Bird had no way out. What? Another one, Mr. Wright?
Interesting. Why don't you fill us all in, Trite? What was this trick you say Mr. Tigre performed to frame the accused?
I'm so ready. What on earth is that? That perfectly legitimate attorney's badge. What an insult to think anyone could be fooled by such a childish imitation. Consider yourself insulted, Your Honor. Mr. Tigre, you didn't just pose as the victim on the day in question. A month ago, in this very court, you posed as me.
Furio Tigre truly is a master of disguise.
He's great. What? That's the truth. But the witness looks nothing like you, Mr. Wright. Although, now that I think about it, it was you, wasn't it?
Oh, Judge!
Oh my word. No doubt it was you, standing here, this very court, a mere month ago. The Phoenix Wright who put up the most disreputable, shabby defense I have ever seen.
Can you prove that, Gramps? Prove the attorney who represented the accused here a month ago was this man. Are you prepared to take the stand and testify that it was him?
Oh.
Hey, forget about it, yeah? I wouldn't do something like that, not me. You made a mistake, right? It was someone else, huh?
Have you no pride, sir?
Objection.
This isn't a matter of pride.
Did the judge may testify at a trial they were saying? Probably not.
In case you didn't know, Trite, here in court we deal with people's lives.
Uh-huh. Mr. Gatto is right. Your Honor? Speaking for myself, I am absolutely convinced. The attorney in question was the witness standing before me now. However, I preside over this court as the judge, with the vested power to hand down a verdict. Someone in my position cannot be swayed by a memory without evidence to support it. No!
I mean, they do look pretty similar. Have you seen their hair?
If the defense has no further evidence, the court will now excuse the witness. The circumstances surrounding Mr. Tigre are dubious for sure, but not conclusive.
But we've come so far.
You say he impersonated Glen Elg. You say he impersonated you. But none of that adds up to a murder charge. You don't have a shred of evidence the witness poisoned the victim's coffee.
Mr. Mask makes a point.
Ha! Sucks to be you, right? Don't mess with the Tigre, you're gonna get mauled, you got that?
All we managed to do here was chase him around a bit. But I was so close to getting him to admit his own guilt.
Looks like I won't be needing a refill.
If I just had one more piece of evidence. One more piece of evidence and maybe I could get Maggie off the hook. This witness's cross-examination is over. You are free to go, Mr. Tigre. Bro. Oh! Your Honor, sir? Wait!
Aw, look at him.
What a bro. Detective. Detective Gumshoe. Sorry I took so long, pal. I staked everything on this. My badge, the works. Oh, God.
Oh, man.
So here it is. Maud's counting on this, too. Ooh, what is it, detective? Isn't it obvious, pal? It's the final, decisive piece of evidence. What?
Who let Detective Gumshoe back in here?
January 8th, 2:48 p.m. District Court, Defendant, Lobby, number 1.
Sorry it took so long, pal. But I finally got the results from the lab. The results? About the prints, pal. From this medicine bottle.
Oh, so? Do you know who the prints belong to now?
You think I'm some kind of hack detective? Of course I know.
No comment. So, tell
What?
us. They're the Tigers, right? I knew it.
You bet. Clear as crystal, all over the bottle. They're Furio Tigre's paw prints, all right.
That's great. We've got him now, Nick. What's wrong with you? You've hardly said a word since Detective Gumshoe got here. He's laid everything on the line for this, Nick.
I know. Look, I'm sorry. This is kind of hard to say, but it really doesn't make any difference whose prints are on that bottle now. Huh? Oh, what? Why not? What we need to produce at this stage in the trial is irrefutable evidence that the tiger put poison in Glenelg's coffee. He's already admitted that he met the victim. The fact that his prints are on this bottle really doesn't make any difference now. I knew it. Great. No matter how hard I try, never of any use.
Hey, don't be so hard on yourself.
Gumshoe. This was our last chance to help Maggie. I've been working on some useless piece of evidence the whole time. It's alright. I'm a real loser. It's not breaking news to me, pal. Detective Gumshoe?
Maggie!
You've been working on something? For me? Sorry I let you down, Maggie. I know you didn't do it. I'm a detective. We're supposed to be able to prove stuff like that. I'm really sorry. I'll get out of here now. Detective Gumshoe, wait! He's gone.
Isn't there anything we can do now, Nick?
I wish there was. Gumshoe worked so hard to get that evidence. If only there was some way I could use it.
Small bottle, put in the pocket.
January 8th, 3:04 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 4.
Well,
Back at it again. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. I granted you a recess so you could prepare this decisive evidence you've discovered. Yeah!
Don't keep us all in suspense, Trite. Show us. Naturally, we can assume it's evidence that will actually stand up in court, can't we?
Think, Phoenix. Don't let Gumshoe's hard work go to waste.
How much more of my time are you gonna waste? I ain't been in no court before. Use lawyers should know how to blow things out of proportion.
No doubt, given the nature of the evidence, it will speak for itself. Nevertheless, you will talk us through it, Mr. Wright? Well, I know I can't prove anything new with this evidence. I'm really backed into a corner here. But maybe if he thinks he's got me beat, he'll let his guard down a bit. Don't keep us waiting any longer, Mr. Wright. Present this final, decisive piece of evidence to the court. This is the defense's final piece of evidence. Isn't that the victim? Your Honor. Naturally, the court is already aware of the contents of this bottle. However, interesting new information has come to light. We have clearly identified some fingerprints on it. Fingerprints belonging to you, Mr. Tigre.
What?
But, Mr. Wright, what conclusion are you hoping to draw from this new information? Everyone in here knows what this bottle contains. Except one man. One person in this courtroom should theoretically be in the dark.
oh. My
Ooh.
print's on that pansy-looking bottle? Is that what you're saying? Well, what the hell's in it anyway?
A phony trial, a phony lawyer, and phony clues. Everything about this case has been phony. Seems like the perfect excuse for some phony evidence.
Oh man, Phoenix.
Ooh. Mr. Tigre, This is the decisive piece of evidence that will prove your guilt. Why? Because it contains
Mr. Armstrong's oils, the victim's ear medicine, potassium cyanide. What?
Ooh.
Why don't we lie a little as a treat?
This bottle contains potassium cyanide. I don't know if you're allowed to do this, Phoenix, by the way.
No,
like...
definitely not.
Potassium cyanide. The poison used to murder Mr. Elg, Your Honor. The victim's killer used this very bottle. And on this bottle, Mr. Tigre, we found your fingerprints. Well, how do you explain that?
You make a good clown, you know that?
What?
Yous ain't never gonna get this to stick. He's just making me laugh now. You think a cheap bluff like that's gonna fool the tiger?
A bluff?
I can see straight through you, Phoenix, right? That ain't the bottle with the cyanide in it.
No, this is the bottle we found traces of the poison in. Yep.
Don't mess with the tiger, you're gonna get ripped to shreds. The cyanide bottle was brown, and it was made of glass. That cheap piece of trash don't look nothing like it.
Gato. Got him at last.
What? Why has everyone gone quiet? I said that bottle.
Is this the bottle you're referring to?
Yeah, that's it. That's the bottle the cyanide was in. But yous ain't gonna find my prints on that bottle. Don't let that cozy looking suit fool you people. That lawyer's just playing games. Tell him, Mr. Prosecutor. Tell that guy where to go.
You still haven't figured it out? Don't you realize what you just said?
What I said? What did I just say?
You were summoned to this court for the first time earlier today. If you really had nothing to do with the murder, you shouldn't have known all the little details. For instance, you shouldn't have known what kind of bottle the potassium cyanide was in. But just now, you slipped up in front of every single person in this courtroom. You described the exact bottle used by the killer to hold the poison.
Yous don't know who yous messing with. I'm the tiger. I control millions of dollars on the black market. You think I'm gonna let some jumped up suit get the better of me?
Sure, the last piece of evidence was phony. But that's just what you deserve. The phony trial with a phony lawyer. It was all played out by you, the biggest phony of all. Oh my god. What's going on?
It looks like a blackout.
Well done, Trite. I saved my 17th cup of coffee just for you. Savor
What do you
it.
want? Why?
While you watch the police restrain your prey.
Holy shit, did he just turn the lights off? Holy crap!
Gato, why?
Hey, is anybody talk about how Gato just threw that cup of coffee in the dark and hit Mr. Right? No? Okay.
Mr. Wright, you caught a tiger by his toe, but if this one hollers, he won't be let go. Now then, how are things going with Mr. Tigre, Mr. Gatto?
He's being arrested on suspicion of the murder of Glenn Elm, Your Honor.
Fortunately for us, we managed to rectify a very grave error. Miss Bird was found guilty in the absence of a genuine defense attorney. Yes, she was.
And in the absence of genuine evidence. But the tiger made one mistake.
Indeed. He very nearly got away with everything if it wasn't for that one slip of the tongue. Furio Tigre is a truly frightening criminal.
The truly frightening one is that defense attorney over there.
The one with coffee all over him?
Yep.
Kato. Well, I am now in a position to deliver my verdict. The court finds the defendant, Maggie Bird. Yay!
Yay!
That is all. This court is adjourned.
January 8th, 4:10 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 1.
Mr. Wright! I'm at a loss for words. Thank you, sir.
Congratulations, Maggie.
I was so mad when Mr. Wright landed me in all that trouble a month ago. But now I feel like I can forgive him. Hey, that wasn't me, Maggie. That was the tiger.
Look, Nick, in the doorway.
Detective Gumshoe. Oh, guess I'll be goodbye. Wait. Detective Gumshoe. Oh yeah. Congratulations, Maggie. Thanks. I knew you were innocent all along. Why didn't you say that in your testimony then? Huh? Oh, well, I was... Well, guess I'll be heading off this year out. Wait up, detective. He just ran off.
Maggie, why are you being so hard on him? He busted his butt for you. It's thanks to him that we got the medication bottle.
That wasn't even of any use.
But
It's only because Mr. Wright used it so cleverly. Detective Gumshoe was just running around in circles.
that's our boy.
Oh boy. Poor guy. Looks like she still isn't ready to forgive him.
Can't you put in a good word for him, Nick?
Yeah, Maya's right. I should help Gumshoe out. It's clear he needs it. Maggie? You know, Detective Gumshoe's been really worried about you through all of this. I wanted to believe that, sir. But on that first day of the trial, he practically gave the judge a free pass to lock me up. He didn't have any choice, Maggie. He's a detective. He has to report the facts. He doubted me, that's why. He thought I might have done it. I've got to prove to her that Gumshoe really cares about her. I know. I'll give her a little present to celebrate her freedom.
Bam!
Yeah, finally! Here you are. A present to celebrate your freedom. That's a present from Detective Gumshoe, made with a ton of love.
He said you lost weight and he was worried about you.
Detective Gumshoe. I actually really like weenies, you know.
Did you guys hear that? I'm pretty hungry myself, you know.
Yeah, the trial dragged on a bit today, didn't it? Is it okay if I eat this now?
This kind of makes me want weenies now.
She likes weenies! Oh!
So, how is it, Maggie?
It's really good.
That's Detective Gumshoe's entire salary for the month.
Oh my god.
It was a cute graphic.
That's adorable. So the case of phony versus... Oh, sorry. The false allegations surrounding Maggie have all been cleared up. And who knows? Maybe a whole new chapter of her life is about to start.
Episode 3, Recipe for Turnabout. The end.
Poor Gumshoe.
Wow. A brand new episode has been added. Oh yeah, you bet that's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be a good one for sure. Okay. Well, unfortunately, we will probably have to call it there.
Yeah.
But thank you for joining us.
That
was super fun. I cannot wait because the next two cases. I cannot wait. You can enjoy my new end screen here. Here, I'll even play for you the original fragrance of dark coffee, the like chiptune version. All right, well, thanks for coming. Thanks for coming out. We will see you next week, same time, same place.
Woo!